7 useless car features that shouldn't exist. Automotive technology has come a long way since turn signals, air conditioning, and electric windows were first introduced to cars in the 1930s. Automakers invest a lot of money into innovation. In 2018 alone, Toyota, Hyundai, and Honda filed over 400,000 patents. Often, these newfound features seem like a great idea until they're put into the hands of real customers and used daily. As they say, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Sometimes you'll discover that how a user interacts with something isn't the same as how a designer or engineer does or thinks they will. The result? A bunch of useless features. In today's video, we're going to look at 7 car features that automakers released that ended up making no sense. Number 7, interlocked seatbelts. So no part of a car has been subjected to more useless innovations than the seatbelt. Seatbelts have basically served the same purpose since they were first added to cars in the 1950s. However, most laws making wearing seatbelts mandatory didn't come into effect until the 1970s and the 1980s, and it took a long time for many motorists to accept that they had to wear seatbelts while driving. To help influence drivers' behavior, automakers in the 1970s developed interlocked seatbelts that required the driver's seatbelt to be locked into place before the car would start. So if you don't have a seatbelt on, the car is not going to start. Interlock seatbelts became law in many parts of the US in the early 1970s. However, once law enforcement officers and state legislators realized that many people just buckled the driver's seatbelt and then sat on top of it, these laws were revoked and interlock seatbelts quietly disappeared from the marketplace because there's literally a loophole around them. Alright, number 6, motorized rear view mirrors. Some things in a car should just remain manually controlled. Not everything needs to be motorized just because it can be. And this is especially true of the rear view mirror. Adjusting the rear view mirror with your right hand is not the craziest task. It's probably the most efficient way to quickly get the mirror the way you want it. But, this should be done obviously before cars even started. Yet in the 1990s, many automakers introduced motorized rear view mirrors that people could fiddle with and fix using the touch of a button. The Mercedes-Benz led that way with this tech innovation in 1994, and several other car makers followed. And it seemed like a sound concept since motorized side view mirrors worked great and became extremely popular. But side view mirrors are outside the car, and it can be extremely difficult to stick a hand outside and adjust when speeding down a highway. Never mind the fact that the driver can't even reach the side view mirror on the passenger side of the car. So motorizing those side view mirrors was a great advancement. Rear view mirrors, on the other hand, are inside the car and within easy reach, and it proved to be a hell of a lot easier and faster for people to adjust the rear view mirror with their hand rather than mess around with a button that had the rear view mirror jerking from side to side and up and down. Alright, number 5, moisture sensing windshield wipers. So windshield wipers can be frustrating at the best of times, adjusting the speed and intervals of the wiper blades so that they clean the windshield at the appropriate time. It can seem like a part-time job. And getting the wiper blades just right when it's misting or lightly sprinkling can be super aggravating. So it seemed like a great idea to create completely automated windshield wipers that sense moisture in the air and come on when it rains, right? It adjusts their speed automatically based on how hard it is raining. The only problem was that the sensors had a hard time adjusting to the rain that was not consistent. So during a downpour, the automated wipers worked great, but when the rain let up, and then started to get heavy again, the wiper blades could not adjust properly. This made moisture sensing windshield wiper blades beyond annoying. Worse, it can be extremely difficult to override the automated system once it's started. So in the end, most automakers opted to develop a more responsive windshield wiper blade switch on the steering column and did away with the moisture sensing wiper system. Number 4, paddle shifters for automatic cars. Oh man, this one is just interesting. I mean, this is pretty cool in a manual, but come on, automatic cars. So paddle shifters were used in automatic transmission cars as a compromise that would give the people the feeling of manually shifting gears in the car without having to use a clutch and grinding the gears. Now, the paddle was placed on the steering column within easy reach, and people could simply flick it to shift gears. The only problem was that this technology was completely unnecessary in an automatic transmission car that shifts gears all by itself. And people had to hit the paddle shifter at the perfect moment or the car would just ignore the manual command from the driver. So in the end, this is what they came up with. It was reinforced that people who want to drive an automatic car don't want to shift gears, and then people who do want to shift gears would go on to buy a manual transmission car. Are you surprised by that? I'm not too sure how they weren't. All right, number 3, we're back with another useless seatbelt feature, and that is motorized seatbelts. So, how lazy have people gotten when they need to have their seatbelt buckled electronically for them? So, while motorized seatbelts were considered a cool feature in the early 1980s when first introduced, people quickly realized that they were ridiculously slow and cumbersome. Today, motorized seatbelts are often featured in comedy movies as a sight gag, where a person in a hurry has to sit and wait for their motorized seatbelt to slowly crawl across their body and lock into place before they can take off in their car. So drivers and car manufacturers quickly realized that it is a lot faster for people just to pull their seatbelts out and fasten them in place themselves. Also, these seatbelts were prone to glitches that made it impossible for them to even fasten in place. So not only was this a tacky idea, but it was also a safety hazard if you couldn't get your seatbelt on. All right, number 2, headlight wipers. Now, these look cool on some cars, but you've probably seen German and Swedish cars that have tiny windshield wipers on the headlights. Now, during the 90s, this was kind of a status symbol. Only higher end cars had such systems on them, and they would kind of show them off. But for the most part, these wipers actually don't accomplish much, especially not in suburban settings. The actual usage for these is when you're driving off-road or in the mud. So this was rather a pointless feature to put on passenger cars that largely never even left the pavement. So obviously there's a lot of pointless features that are on older luxury cars, but these headlights were by far one of the most useless. Let's be honest, unless you plan on rally racing your way to the grocery store, you're not going to need a pair of these on your headlights. So like many consumers realized, these are kind of useless and they never ended up using them. So what did manufacturers do? They got rid of them. All right, number 1, we have made it to number 1, and this one hurts. This one hurts a lot. Fake exhaust tips. And man, you heard that right, fake ones. And what's even more painful is that these are not on cheap cars. These are actually on some nice luxury and exotics. So there are many questionable automotive and motorcycle trends that have taken off in recent years, but fake exhaust tips might be the worst of all. These days, a huge variety of funky exhaust tip shapes have been appearing on cars. Thin rectangles, ovals, trapezoids, you name it, it's probably been done. And again, you're going to find these on the more expensive end of the car scale. So the thing is, these weird and wonderful shapes are often not practical for mounting onto the end of an exhaust system. So what you're actually seeing is nothing more than a fake bit of trim stuffed into the bumper, hiding a smaller conventional circular pipe behind it. So sure, there are reasons other than styling for fitting these. Some are designed to shield bumpers from heat and soot, but sometimes the fakery is at times so obvious that the whole setup looks cheap, which is unfortunate. So that concludes today's useless car features. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Let us know in the comments of a useless car feature that you've seen before. Also, please like and subscribe as that helps us create more content for you guys every single week. We'll see you in the next one.